love, welcome in. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to explore trauma and healing. I know, a heavy topic, but really just with the heart that we can find support, find connection, find grounding and strength as we move through these difficult times via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. Also some Ayurveda. All right, so let's get into it. Grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab a beverage, kick back, relax. You know, it's been a lot. We've been in Cancer season. We are moving out of Cancer season this week, but really kind of just what's being highlighted right now is a lot of gaslighting, a lot of lying energy, people, situations that are trying to, whether it's like getting out of something or gaslighting you to make you feel like it's not true, that, you know, projecting, twisting the situation, turning it around, pointing the finger onto you, etc. Some of those lies are really being exposed right now. We've had 4 planets go into retrograde recently, and Mercury is one of them, which specifically deals with communication, why communication is being highlighted right now. It's also in Leo, which bears this level of like confidence and courage, and sometimes that can go in the wrong direction for people, especially people who are trying to hide. This is why we've been seeing truth exposed, things coming to light. There are opportunities to heal relationships. All trauma, I recognize, is different, right? Like there's various types of, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So take what resonates. Don't try to pick anything up that doesn't feel like it's yours. But definitely be open to receive, right? Definitely be open to receive the messages that Spirit has there, because there is a lot going on. And Black Moon Lilith is making these aspects in the astrology right now, which are really forcing us to trust our gut instincts, to trust what our intuition is telling us around people, around situations, especially dynamics that maybe resurface from the past. That energy has definitely been coming up lately. So that's also why I like to start off the readings with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles, limitations we're coming into, places where it's hard to trust ourselves or we feel disconnected from ourselves. It's also a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you have come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you want Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It really is a good way to personalize these collective readings, as I was mentioning before. It helps just kind of nurture our soul in ways that we so need, especially when we have gone through a lot of trauma and pain in our life. So I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. If you're interested, readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are just more interested in a realignment of yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, reconnecting with who you are, your wants, your needs. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Both those aspects help us ground and be strong and stable and know ourselves. And when we're operating from that space, that's definitely where we're finding happiness, success, fulfillment, which we all deserve. And is so, I feel like, even just more important for people that have been through really traumatic experiences, right? Because it's hard. It's hard to process through that stuff. It's hard to move on. It's hard to heal and grow. It's way easier to shove it down, but then it pops up even when we don't want it. So I would love to help and support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up if you're interested. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being. so that I may see and understand the messages clearly. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Ooh. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love. All right, so I'm definitely picking up this energy of determination from you this week. Like there's determination. It's not just about like your success, but it's overcoming, right? It's overcoming some of these blocks, obstacles, limitations that you have been experiencing, but it's messy, right? It feels really messy. And I think that's almost why it's hard for you to see clearly. Right now, Neptune is in retrograde, so it brings that up, unfortunately, where like we have to be able to sift through what's true and what's illusion. And so often fear, anxiety, trauma can make that really, really difficult, right? Because trauma comes up at times that are unexpected, that were, you know, triggers can be the simplest of things. And when we're holding on to a lot of that within our being, it definitely messes with our flow, or the flow of intelligence. Ayurveda looks at it as prana, life force, that flow. It disrupts that flow because it's hard to look at. It's hard to process through. Our body is amazing. It works for us at all times and in all ways. And if something is just too much, it will find a place to shove it down, you know, cross its fingers that it doesn't come back up. Unfortunately, it does. And unfortunately, we're in a time where a lot of this stuff is being highlighted because of Pluto moving into Aquarius. What I love about that energy is it gives us opportunity for new life. But that opportunity comes at I don't want to say a cost. I think that's an unfair way to describe it, but that's kind of how it feels, or that's how it's feeling right now. Especially with this eclipse energy, I'm hearing like longing for the past, maybe not situations that you were in before, but I'm hearing like this more innocent version of your life, or how you're seeing it, right? To whatever capacity. It's longing for things that used to be, and not as much as what is right now, because we do kind of have some hard work in front of us, just in general in the collective. But especially when we're dealing with traumatic things, it makes it hard, right? It doesn't make it easy to have this stuff come up, especially when it's not an ideal time, you know? It's not an ideal, or maybe it just feels a little bit extreme on some level. In some ways, it looks like, you know, maybe intuitively that this is the direction as to which things are going. And here's the thing, there is promise of betterment on the other side. Also, unfortunately or not, there's this value of like having to wait through the process. Like everything has a natural order. It has a natural exiting, releasing, waning. We see this in the waning crescent phase, or waning phase of the moon cycle, which we're actually in right now. We're going to be having a new moon in Leo this week, which I feel is powerful, right? Like, so this is saying that you've been stuck in this in-between for a long time, and it feels heavy. It feels heavy. It feels like you've been working, like in your perception, I've been working hard, I've been working intentionally, but where are my results? And it sucks because a lot of this is about divine timing. A lot of this is about trusting the process. The challenges around that modern day are we're so used to things moving quickly, or I don't know, I mean, maybe even better yet, like trauma is a very deep and impactful thing on our life. And who wants to sit in that, right? Like who wants to sit in the pain and the misery of what that brings? Because it's not so easy. It's not so clear cut. There's a lot of difficulty that ensue because of that, the after effects, the aftermath, the reverberations of depression and sadness and loneliness, and trying to heal from all that, trying to trust again, trust other people, trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust your intuition, which is definitely being highlighted right now. what I like, and we also had this energy in the weekly. Definitely check it out if you're interested. Gives a little weekly overview. Things are changing, and I think you're seeing more of that dramatic change this week. It looks like whatever you've kind of been waiting on is finally moving. You know, this is stuff that there's been a hard no, left and right. And that kind of goes back to what I was hearing earlier of just like, you know, when is my stuff going to work out? When are these boundaries? When is this oppression going to lift? And I'm not trying to sell this thing that it magically disappears this week, because you're still in this waiting process. There's also a lot that's evolving, and this is where Spirit is really asking you to trust your instincts. Things are moving in their own methodical way, and things are also moving very slowly. But again, so we can have a little bit more solid foundation underneath our feet, i.e. Mars in Virgo. Mars in Virgo slows things down for sure. Also with the 4 planets in retrograde, it's bringing up rehashing is what I'm saying by that. Rehashing the old. Yeah, 100%. 8 of Wands, 6 of Cups. So messages, communication coming in. Part of the reason you've been feeling like you're living in this in-between and there's not necessarily a pathway forward, right? It's helping bring in change is what I'm hearing. It's helping bring in change for your heart, because it looks like you're dealing with someone who just doesn't get it. It's completely over their head, you know? They might be offering some proverbial olive branch if this is someone that you've been struggling with, even if you're not necessarily fighting or duking it out. Like, I don't necessarily get that vibe. It's just like someone who doesn't get it. And to the point that they really don't want to. Or have not wanted to, maybe is a better way to say it, in the past, because it does kind of, let me just see this real quick. Yeah, there are some I feel that there's information coming in that this person's situation wants to bring you. And it does look like it's in positive efforts. We're getting double confirmation on this change. Let me look at this real quick. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we're getting double confirmation on this change. Sorry, I didn't mean to have such a heavy sigh. I don't know why I did. Well, because this energy feels a little bit heavy, or it's like the way that they're coming towards you. It feels unfair. It just, like, as much as maybe they're bringing information and there is some type of good intention around it, I don't know. It also has a lot of heaviness and burden, and it looks like this is something that you have specifically put some strong boundaries around. Something that is dealing with the past 6 of Cups energy that, like, I feel like you just had to say no, right? You just had to say no. So that's the challenge around these retrogrades right now, because they are resurfacing past things. I feel like you maybe were not overt in what was happening. Perhaps you showed more through action versus words. I think someone has a hard time with that. There is still some finger pointing and blame game going on in this dynamic. And I think for you, like, you're expecting this 100%, because this is someone who, like, maybe wants to repair something or is trying to come back around. But it's the same story. 10 of Swords is a really, like, harsh energy. It's the whole reason that you've put up these boundaries in the first place, right? It's the whole reason that maybe you couldn't communicate, that, you know, whatever reason, it's like you had your reason. Or you had your reasonings, right? We have 5, 6, 7 on the board here in your energy. Like, you chose what you chose to move forward, to progress. Maybe it didn't make sense to who and what you were dealing with around you, but at the same time, it's just what you had to do. It looks like this person's situation is bringing in information around this. They're trying to end the cycle. They're trying to end the toxicity. You see that on some level. Let's see, like, what? I don't know. It is changing things. Yeah, it's changing things. It completely changes things, actually, because it looks like whatever this is, it's like being pushed to a breaking point. And for you, it's someone else's stress and burden is finally breaking them down. But at the same time, you have your standards, you have your boundaries. Because of what has happened, because of the way things have transpired. And it looks like you've you're making a decision because of what you've been through, right? This is a decision that, like, maybe there is limitation around it, but it doesn't really look like everybody's participating in a way it's not about harmony. It's still this, well, you did this and I did this, and so it justifies whatever was done. But whatever was done was not equal. And it feels like you're having to find your own empowerment through the process. I feel like you're hearing new information, or you're hearing things a little clearer. You're understanding something's motivations. But that also feels painful, right? Let me clarify this Ace of Swords. That also feels painful. That also feels unexpected. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Someone's blaming you. Someone's blaming you. And this is, and here's the thing, it kind of feels like one of those conversations where someone doesn't get what they want. They don't get what they want. They don't realize, they don't understand. 8 of Swords with the Moon card. That's a lot of emotional energy. That's someone who's like letting their fear, anxiety dictate how they operate. Someone feels like that's not fair, like it's like not true. Again, full circle, gaslighting, right? That's why we're coming back to this. Here's the thing, whatever you're dealing with, they don't really interpret it that way. They're not seeing it as like what they were doing was wrong and bad. And that's why this energy feels so careless, so not understanding. It's something that I think is meant to happen, because I think, in a lot of ways, this is clearing out the old. We're seeing this a lot with Pluto moving into Aquarius, the way that things are changing. You've been asking for that change, right? That's why this is happening. Again, this is an eclipse, brings change, both internally and externally. But this is also the number 10, which is completion, and it's closure. I feel like someone is not expecting this, or they expect that, like, whatever they say to you, whatever information, like, it's like they feel like they can convince you. 10 of Swords energy. King of Swords, who also has the 10 of Swords, right? This is someone who kind of uses that intellect to get what they want, but it doesn't always have the best motivations, and that's what feels like the disconnect is. Because you're coming at this with like 6 of Cups energy. I'm bringing love, respect to this situation, to this person, because it means something to me. It's important to me. It's been in my life for a long time, or however that fares for you. And their intention is just, it's not about proving you wrong, but they're not really, I don't feel like they're hearing you as much as you are hearing them. And that's where the disconnect, it's just a mismatch, right? It's a mismatch of energy, especially with you vibing as the Empress wherever she went. Someone's taking that personally. Someone's taking it personally that you're quote unquote better than them, whatever that means, right? Better than them in their own mind, or they feel threatened by you, or they're jealous of you. But again, you're not looking at this person's situation in that way. And this has just actually been something that's helped you evolve into that very strong, powerful, beautiful version of yourself. Even though it has come with pain, even though it has come with suffering and challenges. Nourish while waiting, yeah. So nourish your heart, especially because the way that things are challenging you, it's the remembrance of your power. It's not letting the lies and the gaslighting kind of overtake the reality and the truth. And I feel like you're gonna need people, community in your corner, people that can kind of reinforce the truth around that. Sometimes easier said than done. It has to be people that like you really trust, right? That you kind of just know without a shadow of the doubt they have your best interest at mind. Because what is coming is this conflict resolution, excuse me. Maybe it is a revolution. Maybe it's a revolution of self. And I feel like that's kind of what's making it hard for this King of Swords energy. It's hard for them to deal with because they're either not used to it or they want you to stay limited, small, where you were before in a way to control, to manipulate. But this is actually allowing you to claim your identity, to claim your truth, to shed some of the past, to resolve what has been. Again, I'm not selling this thing that it's all magically gone because it doesn't look that way. But what it looks like is you're bringing in new dynamics. You're bringing in new dynamics that are actually helping you heal, right? It's helping you align with and heal these parts of your mind, body, and soul that so need it, right? That so deserve it and so need it. So thank you so much for your time, energy always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I would love to hear or just connect, say hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.